They're called objects for passing because they're meant to be handed from one person to another. I made a set of glass works within this objects for passing, some of which are called depth, which are kiln cast glass forms that are held in the hand. They're somewhere between stuffed animals and worry stones, and are objects that I made as a grief companion after my father's passing. The experience of helping my dad pass helped me to realize in assisting his transition and therefore also just projecting to my own, there's so much conversations that are just never had. And I think that's pretty common. And I have been drawn to figure out how to combine together a sense of care for this moment, and maybe I would say a sort of ease of understanding this moment that has come through my own experience with my design background, to be able to create something and methods that allow people to feel comfortable to just start having these conversations. I've been taking the set of pieces around as part of work that's being done from the Faculty Ambassador Program of the Arts Initiative, and that program has allowed there to be outreach from faculty members at the University of Michigan. And so the Art Initiative has set up that I was able to travel to Crooked Tree in Petoskey, as well as the Denos Museum in Traverse City, and to run small little shows as well as workshops that have allowed people themselves to start thinking creatively about what things they might want to choose or literally make around either a caregiving moment or their time of transitioning from life to death or helping someone else do that. So the depth objects have been made that fit to the hand, maybe imperfectly, so the hand is always moving with them, and then it feels these different textures both in the form and based on how we polished it, either roughly or smoothly. And then by holding it, I think people are often surprised they can see a transition between dark and light based on the thick and thin also within these forms, and then they start to see their own hands beyond the form. I think we automatically, when we're talking about death, go to kind of like intensity and sadness, and I hoped that this work would also bring the sort of ability to reflect calmly and maybe even far enough to say joyfully in reflecting on like what is really actually important to somebody, so that they can bring creativity and advocacy and a strength within themselves. And then we brought with us a set of cards that were hand stamped with these prompts that would give people a chance to just recognize things that might be instinctual to them or things they've never been asked about, moments that they might be passing or carrying or grieving or going through a transition. Everything from asking, what kind of light quality would you like? Who do you want around? Who do you not want around? What would you like done with your body, not done? What are your absolutely nots? What's something in your legacy? Just prompts that I think maybe we're not always talking about. And then as they would work through these different cards and come and go and think carefully about them, do some writing, do some sketching, there's also a set of cards that were more about artistic expression. So reflecting on the work that I'd done, but also things that they might find within themselves. The Ambassador Program gave me the platform to put this further out in the world and get feedback to groups that I haven't met, people I've never met before, put it out there, start to get the resonance back of what's happening, and now kind of dream a little bit more where it's going. I found people were telling me about a family member who had passed. We have had a couple of people that have either worked in hospitals or worked in hospice. We had a few younger teenagers that came, and I think they all have had very different experiences, and each person provided me with a conversation that was unexpected. They have opened up in a way that they've shared something with me, something that happened to them, something that's happening to somebody else, a wish they have for their own death. And hearing those and having those moments, I think, just fills the project back up. Just recognizing that the moment is heartbreaking, but something we all go through, and is also something that can have beautiful touches and aspects to it when it's cared for and thought about in that time.